Hello, Selina and Saad are back with another episode of Chai Chat with Selina and Saad. Wow, what a name.
Wow.
Alright.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Also good.
Wow, enthusiastic boys.
How was your week?
Good, actually. I would say today is a holiday, so that's always nice. I don't know, have you noticed there's a lot of holidays in May and June?
True, and especially in Bayern.
Yeah.
I think they're the most public holidays in all over Germany. And I think from the beginning of Easter onwards, there are a lot of Christian holidays.
When was Easter? April something, right? Was that the
Yeah,
18th?
I don't remember. It always changes a bit.
Fact check us.
Yeah,
Nice one. But how are you?
sure. I think it was end of March.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, all good. And yeah, nothing special happened. To be honest, I saw a nice movie this week.
Movie?
Mhm.
Which one?
I saw Fight Club for the
Mm,
first time.
Love Fight Club. It's one of my favorite movies.
It's still on my mind. That's the thing. It was so crazy. I always heard about Fight Club. Yeah.
And
Yeah, what do I think about Fight Club? It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I didn't expect it. I always thought it's just a movie about some guys who are beating up each other. But
hence the name.
true, but it's more. It's so, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
For someone who hasn't seen it, please watch it. Yeah, I can just recommend it big time. I
yeah,
think it's now one of my favorite movies because it's
yeah,
so like you think about it afterwards also.
yeah. You think about what happened because the thing that happens, again, no spoilers. You keep thinking about it because it's one of those things that you don't consider when you're watching the movie throughout.
Yeah,
And then when something like that happens, you're like, oh, okay. I remember I saw it a long time back. I think yeah, when I was actually either in university for my undergraduate or even before that, after my high school, like during the time that I had to go to
mm,
uni. And I still remember my reaction being like, whoa, movies can also be this. But I think it's also, I don't know how you found it, but you can tell it's like a very 90s movie because during those times, I don't exactly know when Shawshank or Seven and all these Pulp Fiction type movies came out, but they have a very distinct feel to them.
yeah, but I love it. I
Yeah,
really love 90s movies so much. I don't know, I love the vibe. It's so different. Also, the clothing,
yeah,
like also in Fight Club, how Brad Pitt looked with his hair.
yeah.
So cool. Yeah, really like it. It's so nice. Also, what is this movie called? On the Island? Really
Shutter
cool.
Island.
Yeah, this is also so nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is also so nice. Yeah, and you always have this vibe,
Yeah,
which I
I
really
think Shutter Island's more recent.
even, yeah.
I don't think it's from the 90s. I think. Could be actually because Leonardo is also super young there, right? Mark Ruffalo also.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you can hear, we have the facts. We know
Yeah.
it. I think it's from the 90s. Let's
Let's
just
say
say
it's
that.
from the 90s.
I'm not sure, but yeah, it
Okay.
feels like it for sure.
Yeah. But also it's interesting, we were discussing this before the podcast that so for context, we were also watching this YouTube video about München in the
True.
1960s and then 1973. It was about Olympia and Go Center. And it's also so interesting that people used to dress up with so many more clothes.
Yeah, and more colorful.
Yeah, I mean colorful, not just clothes. They
Now
aren't
they all
naked.
naked.
Yeah,
But still, they
yeah,
did wear more, like long, not like, they didn't wear like crop tops or,
true. Yeah, that wasn't really a thing because we were watching it was also filmed in summer, right? Like the
Yeah.
video, and there was barely anyone without like a proper shirt and something. I don't know why though. It's interesting, but especially the part around the colors is super crazy. That these days every sort of clothing is shades of black, completely white, or grayish.
Yeah, I think in this time, color was a thing, like a big thing.
Yeah,
Wearing colorful clothes, that was cool. But now it feels like they're not. I mean, some people do, and they also know how to like match their colors.
yeah,
And I really also liked it when someone has like this pop, very red jacket or something, and just
yeah,
it's really nice. But I also someone who's just sometimes I'm not sure, and then I think like, okay, with black you can go all the time.
yeah,
It's chic and simple, and you don't need to think about it. But then, if you like, you have this green shirt, then you already need to think, can I wear that?
yeah. That's true.
Which jacket? And I don't know. You probably should not think about it that much, but especially on Instagram, you see so many people are wearing these like perfect matching outfits with matching shoes and matching purse. And I'm always
Yeah,
like, I don't have that many purse or
yeah,
shoes.
yeah. It's interesting. I think the color thing is also a friend was telling me there's also this study or this argument around capitalism that, you know, given that we're in later stages of capitalism, it also leads to this that people wear less colors. I'm not that smart to figure out what that exactly means, but I can definitely say that as an observer, as someone who also watches previous like classic movies, that's definitely the case. Especially in like winters and stuff, you definitely notice it. Everyone's wearing black. I
Yes.
wonder if that was the case also earlier. But
Yeah, I think it was more of something than when you're wearing something chic or in the office that you
yeah.
had simple clothes, like
Hmm.
not too colorful, but in your free time you were always colorful. I don't know about the winters, but I think it was more colorful than now. But do you think when you see someone with a colorful outfit and someone with a like plain outfit, you see a difference there? You like it more?
So I personally wear more, I would say, not crazy colors. Yeah, like I really like dark green,
Hmm. Navy.
Pakistani, navy also black. But I really like when someone's like you say they have this pop of color.
Hmm.
Like if they're wearing like a cap also, like a really green cap, or
Yeah.
really with like a very muted outfit, and then there's like this pop somewhere, like from maybe their shoes. So this recently I saw this guy who's wearing like a gray shirt, then blackish pants, and he had like green and orange shoes, like from
Hmm.
Adidas, and it looked so cool. I'm probably doing a really bad job of explaining it, but he looked really, really good.
I can't really imagine it, but I think especially in Munich, there's a lot of like this chic culture, like
Yeah,
very chic, like not that crazy colorful, more like neutral colors, but
yeah.
everything is a match.
Yeah,
Like,
a friend of ours was also here, right? Like, and he was saying that there's such a big difference in the way people dress in Munich compared to Berlin,
it's
right?
called Berlin.
Berlin,
Uh-huh.
sorry, Berlin. But but I think that's true.
Definitely. I mean, Berlin. I almost said
Uh,
Berlin. They overall they have a crazy style. Yeah, it's really crazy what they wear, like, and their normal clothes. Like they're so like also in London, uh, they're so they don't give a
yeah,
yeah, they just wear whatever they want.
yeah,
And I really admire this. This
yeah. It's
is
also cool.
so cool when you're so confident and you don't care and you just wear what you actually like,
Yeah,
even if it's not a match or
yeah,
whatever. But this is not the thing, I think, in Munich. And also not in Dresden. I think in Dresden people really don't care. I mean, probably some of them, but they're really there, like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but I do know, like in some cities, especially maybe in Dresden, correct me if I'm wrong, there's also this very specific dude outfit, which is like a t-shirt, then cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts are big in Dresden, yeah.
Yeah,
True.
but it doesn't suit a lot of people for some reason. I don't know. For some people, it suits them really, really well,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people, it doesn't really suit.
And then they put all of their stuff in their
And
cargo pants.
and it's almost falling down, like their phone, their huge wallet, and uh, yeah, it's interesting. But you're definitely right. In Munich, you can see it even at the not I would say not maybe at the Hauptbahnhof that much, but probably when you go to like when we also discussed this in a previous episode where you go to this Uni area,
Yeah.
right? Like it's very in different seasons you can see a pattern, right? Like in the autumn season, I think women wear this blazer and a cap and New Balance shoes. You can see that everywhere.
Or a coat also,
Or
like
coat
a long
also.
coat. Yeah, for
Right.
sure. But I think it's not at the Hauptbahnhof because there all the tourists are there, right? Just
Yeah, that's
arriving and
everyone.
going.
Yeah.
So that's why it's more like Maxvorstadt or
Yeah.
Schwabing.
Yeah.
So this is the area for like, I mean, I like it. It's nice that they get dressed and they love like have perfect outfit. And then I sometimes just feel so underdressed.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also like we were discussing earlier, it's also at some point you also start prioritizing your comfort. Like obviously I also like style, but at the same time I probably wouldn't wear like a very specific kind of shirt because it looks really good and it's not that comfortable. I would probably wear something more comfortable.
Okay, but now we're excited. What is your style?
Well,
How would you explain to someone your style?
I think in my undergraduate I was like a very university professor type of style. Like I had very uh,
You came with a
specific.
suit
No,
to
not a
dress.
suit. Like a dress shirt, jeans, or yeah, like dark jeans, and then any kind of shoes, and then I usually just had like long sleeves. And then Pakistan is usually like really warm, so you just roll up your sleeves and then you're good. So I didn't wear that many, I would say, t-shirts. I also used to wear a lot of polo shirts, but I think that's changed now. Like because here it's slightly different. You're always wearing. I personally always wear in most seasons a sweater apart from the summer,
But do you
obviously.
but do you think about your what you're wearing? Like, do you stand in front of the mirror and be like, can I wear this? Is this a match? Does it look good? Or
No, I think usually when I go to work, I just make a quick decision. And to be honest, it's the same 80-20 rule. I probably wear 20% of my closet more than the rest of the 80% because I have jackets that I haven't worn in like, I would say, years. So it's the same, I think, rotation, but just in different ways. Like I have this green shirt that I really like from Weekday. Then I have this shirt from Uniqlo that I really like, which is pink. Then I have these two jeans from Levi's that I rotate mostly. Then I have other stuff, but I never really wear it. But to answer the question, I don't really stand in front of a mirror because I think I know that these things work really well. So I just keep, using them again and
yeah.
again.
I
You?
just need to do a little disclaimer. Obviously, this podcast is sponsored because Saad just said all
All
the
the brands.
brands.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, we are getting paid too much money
If
for
we're getting
this.
paid too much money, we have to give it back now to them.
Yeah, unfortunately not, but saying
But if they're interested, never a bad time.
true.
Yeah, you put in some effort more than me, I would say.
I definitely think about it
Yeah.
because I also going to AMU, not saying that this you have to, but I see what the girls are wearing and then I'm also like, maybe I dress up a little bit.
Yeah.
So then I look what is matching, but then I also sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, just some black pants and a shirt,
Yeah, I think
and
black
that's
pants are
it.
classic.
Yeah, I really have one pair of black pants. I think I could wear them every day because
Yeah.
I like the fit. I like how they look,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good, like if you have like one, two, three pieces in your wardrobe, you can like mix with everything, I think that's perfect. Like I think basic things are really important
True. Yeah.
to then mix them with something, I don't know, a red cap or some different shoes. Like I have
Yeah.
I have green shoes and I like to have them with the black pants and
Yeah.
then just a neutral shirt. So I think
Yeah.
it goes well.
I think so too. I think that's a good point that the basic things I like. So I like the style which is a bit, but it looks a bit effortless. You know, like a
Hmm.
good, like you, again, taking a lot of brand names, but Uniqlo is a good example of
Beep.
that. You know,
Yeah.
like the shirts are, they're very simple, but they're good colors. And then at least I really like is for pants is Levi's.
Mm.
Like they're good, usually long lasting.
Yeah.
And if you match those, then I think you're good, like for a summer outfit, and if whatever kind of shoes you have.
True. But
Yeah.
now I'm gonna tell you something. Uniqlo is coming to Munich
Oh yeah, true.
in I think October or something, so that's super exciting.
It's also close to the LMU, right?
I think Leopoldstraße, close to Münchner Freiheit.
Hmm,
Yeah,
that's
so
really
it's really good. Yeah, it's really nice. Big store. Super
yeah.
exciting.
Last time we went to Berlin. Did I
Yeah,
say that right?
you said it right.
Wow, too good. And of course, there's Uniqlo there, and I think there's also Uniqlo in Hamburg, I would say, or no,
I
or
don't
maybe
know.
that's a Zalando outfit. But in any case, so it was a bit surprising to see that there's no Uniqlo store in München, right?
True.
Because I think again, just don't haven't done any research on it, but just from the outside, it seems like they do well because there's so many other stores here.
Yeah, and I also really like it. I went to this, I think it was 5 levels, 5 floors
Yeah.
in New York, this
Mhm.
huge store with even one store inside where you could like, I don't know, brand your own shirt,
Mhm.
like with a what's on it, then a graphic or
Yeah.
something. So they did it for you also in the store, and this
From
was,
Uniqlo.
yeah,
Oh, crazy.
yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, this was so insane. So, and they have like really good simple stuff,
Yeah.
like really nice basic, but also good fabric.
Exactly. Yeah. I do have a few things from Uniqlo which I really really like. Like like the shorts also from them, which are striped and they're just so you know they don't they're not in your face,
Hmm.
but you really like it, and their fit is good and they're really comfortable.
Because you wear them on your legs,
Exactly.
not in your face. That's why
They're not
they're
in your
not in your
face.
face.
Oh, too good. But
Oh, you actually mean that.
no, not in your face. Unless you're trying to do something else. But yeah. But I think Germany does have most of these big boy, more popular brands. I think we mentioned, especially if you go to the city center, there's like all of these kind
I
of.
think you have everything. I think especially these days people buy more brands. I mean, when I was in high school, I didn't really care. My mom got my clothes till I
Yeah,
was, I don't know, maybe 15 or
yeah,
something. Then I started
same.
to get something like very cheap shirts or I don't know, and it was like not really matching at all. I
Yeah.
always looked so, no, I remember I had red pants and like jeans type and then a shirt. It was
Prestige.
light, it's very important, light blue with a big owl the front, and shoes were white orange sneaker.
Oh,
Can you see the
yeah, I
match?
can see a highlighter.
Yeah, I can see it. It was too crazy. But at school, we didn't really care. We just
Yeah.
went to school. And now, when I hear it from the younger generation,
Oh, hearing from the younger generation.
from my brother,
Okay.
it's like, it's crazy. You actually need to have like the Nike Jordans. You need to have like the coolest baggy now. Baggy pants are bag,
That's a,
and like very cool shirts, and everything needs to be a match. And girls wearing makeup with like 12 already. I
yeah.
didn't even know about makeup, just saying it was like, yeah, but we didn't do that at all.
Mm.
So it's like it's a different time.
Yeah, could be, but I also think like I think it's been around at least. Maybe it's that you didn't do it, and then other people also in your class also did it. No?
I can't remember that someone was really wearing makeup or any crazy outfits.
Mm. Yeah, maybe it's more right now because I remember in school also, obviously we had a uniform, right? So it
Okay,
wasn't like
that's easy then
then
to
it's
get
easy.
dressed.
Yeah, then you don't have a
And also
choice.
no fights at
Yeah,
school then because someone looks different.
is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. But I want to come back to this. This is interesting. But the point is, then also it was sort of a thing, I think. It's always a status thing, right? Like, what did your parents get you?
Yeah, it is definitely, but I think now it's so much more because I can't remember a time where I was like, I need to have a different shirt now
Hmm.
because my friends they don't
Yeah.
like me anymore or I look weird. I didn't really think about my orange pants and my owl shirt. I liked it.
Self-confident, cool, English.
That was not the case. It was more like is you just grabbed something out of your wardrobe and you were wearing it.
Yeah, I think I also didn't pay that much attention to it, to be honest. But yeah, you're saying so now it's more.
Yeah.
And there's also fights in school.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you don't have like the newest shirts or newest shoes or I don't know, not wearing makeup or yeah, there's always this competition and just like, yeah, why you're not wearing this?
Really?
Yeah,
That's a bit crazy.
because it's about the statues, right? Who's not wearing like these stuff is not rich or is not, I don't know, smart, whatever they think then.
Yeah.
But kids are also being hard,
Yeah.
like very hard. And bullying at schools is a big thing. I mean, this was also already my time.
Yeah, bullying in my time was also a big thing. I also went to all boys school, so that was a bit crazy. But
What did they do?
everything.
What is everything?
What do you, what can you think of? I think that most of them they did that. So in my school, it was also a bit different because like there was the seniority juniority thing, right? Like if you're, it's really stupid sometimes if you think about it, but it in some ways it makes sense. Not that I'm trying to justify it, but like this idea that if you're older, then you can tell the younger ones what to do. And this was also this turned into a really like bad system, right? Like obviously people made the younger people do like really crazy shit,
We also
which
had that, but
but
probably not that crazy.
yeah, there was also this concept of ragging, like they used to bully, like how,
What is ragging?
yeah, it's just a term for, whenever, let's say, you're in the last class of high school, so you're the most senior,
Hmm.
and then someone in the first class of high school comes in. So then they would, make the younger ones do things like go dance for us or do some push-ups or
Really?
yeah, that was good. And so I also went to the school which also had boarding, like you could stay in the hostel there, right? Like if you're
Hmm.
from outside. And there it just turned into like a really bad thing because I think there were also really bad cases there of assault and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, now this needs to stop. You know what I mean? So yeah, bullying I think was a big thing, right? To be honest, I think probably I also bullied people, which I'm not really happy about. And yeah, I think when you're in that system, then you think, oh, this is the way to survive and this is the way to go. Not that that's a excuse, right? But still, I think when you come out of it, at least in my case, it was like, holy shit, this was like really bad.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do this to people because it has effects on people, I would argue, even beyond the high school,
Yeah, definitely.
right?
Definitely.
Like I know people who never really, in my eyes, or maybe I'm mistaken, but they never really recovered from it. Like they still have like crazy self-confidence issues. They're always questioning themselves because people bullied them so much
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. They didn't want to go to school also.
All yeah, I mean, like I would say that's yeah, they didn't want to go to school, and also like they just I know this one dude who had like now he's really fit, but he used to be like a chunky boy when he was in high school, and then everyone used to bully him so much.
Yeah, especially when you're a bit bigger, then you get bullied a lot. Like,
Even I think when you're skinnier, then you get bullied. It's weird,
yeah, I think just if you're a bit like,
different,
yeah, which is weird because everyone is
a bit
different.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's hard. I
Yeah,
just don't like this. Like, they're like cool kids in class.
yeah. I was gonna say there's always that.
Yeah, I was not one of this,
Yeah,
but I
I
can
wasn't.
tell you were a cool kid.
I wasn't.
You were a
I
cool
think I
kid.
tried to be, but then I was like, yeah, I don't think I am.
But
But this it's always the case. It's interesting to see that this is also in Germany. This making the clans and everything, right? Like there's the cool kids, and then there's not the cool kids.
yeah, unfortunately, you should try to stay out of these groups. Like,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, because if you're in this cool group, you always most of them these are the bullies,
Yeah,
unfortunately, or someone is doing it, and then the group around it's also just doing it because you're following.
yeah,
There's always a leader, right, in every group. And then the perfect thing would be if you would be someone who's good with everyone,
yeah,
which is obviously not possible because, yeah, you also don't like everyone, which is
yeah,
fine. But just being like, okay, hi, it's fine. I can look at you and I don't need to go crazy.
yeah,
But there's always this like, this is this group and this is this group, and sorry, you can't come to our table and you can't talk with this person. Or
yeah,
we had this at the beginning, like, especially, I don't know, with girl groups, it's also a bit crazy. Like, then there's a little group,
hmm,
and then some, maybe some girls talk more, some girls talk less, and then they think, oh, now you're stealing my best friend from me. It's like, just we're just all friends.
yeah,
It's not about who's the best friend, who's like, there was a big thing in my school, who's your best friend or your best friend forever, and who is just your friend. Like,
okay,
it's really like, I'm telling you who's my best friend,
okay,
who's just my friend,
hmm,
who's my best friend forever.
okay,
And then there was also fights about it if you didn't treat it like this.
hmm. That's a bit crazy. In my school, I don't think that was a big thing. Um, but there's always these weird, like, like this, like you say, there's always this cool kids and not cool kids. And then I think a lot of the times people also try to get into these cool kid groups. And the funny thing is, it doesn't stop, I think, in high school. I think it
Yeah,
continues in universities also.
yeah,
Like I remember in my undergraduate, also like LUMS, there was this really big concept of groups. Like there was always this group, both boys and girls were like super cool in that batch. And obviously there were multiple because it's a huge batch.
mhm,
And I also remember there were like city-based groups like Karachi group or Islamabad group, or there was no, I don't think there was a Lahore group because this university is also in Lahore, but there was always this thing.
mhm.
And I think I would argue that doesn't even stop there, it also is everywhere. Because I think it's a way to exclude people and then show your more high status, right? Like it's a way to feel also good about yourself. But just say, yeah, we're part of this exclusive group that not everyone can be part of. Look at us. We're cool and we are different.
Yeah, I think cool people then also feel powerful.
Yeah,
They feel like they have the power over everyone. They can tell everyone what they should do, and then they just follow
yeah,
and do it. And like, yeah, I don't know. School was tough.
yeah. School was interesting. I think it's an interesting place. And I think it's, at least in my case, it was really interesting because a lot of these like really powerful people also studied at the same school, and they're so, I would, it's also in my university to be honest. I think I would say a lot of people in LUMS were also super disconnected with the rest of the country.
Mm.
Like they had zero clue. Probably I also, I'm not divorcing myself from it that I know everything, but still,
But did they were from Lahore or from?
they were from Lahore, they were from everywhere.
Mm.
But their lifestyle and then the things they used to talk about were just so like out of touch. You went to Lahore, right? It's really easy to see the moment you step out of Lums, it's a different world.
Yeah.
And we're still in defense, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a very, I would say, posh area compared to the rest of the city. Yeah, you've seen it. But like even compared to that, there's just this thing to, you know, uh, say things about your immediate environment which you have zero idea about.
But you think because they portray someone they're better than someone else, or?
I think they, a lot of the times, yes, a lot of the times they were also trying to help, but it's still looking back, I would say a lot of the times it was not helpful because the things they used to talk about was just like, I was not like in touch with the reality at all,
Mm.
right? And I think that also happens here, I would say, to be honest, in universities. Like, yeah, I don't know what your experience is, but at least in my experience, in masters, there were also students who talked about uh, developing countries, quote unquote, in very weird ways because they had
Mm.
this idea from the media and everything that, oh, they're probably just poor people. I mean, that's a separate topic, but I just mean like a lot of the times it's just people who are super loud on campuses,
Mm-hmm.
in universities especially, and I would say, at least in my case, my high school also, they were super out of touch with what's happening.
Yeah, but you just said that your people were helpful or not helpful.
I think they were trying to be helpful.
Mm.
I
Okay.
would like maybe go as far as to say that even if they were completely out of touch, maybe they were sometimes trying to be helpful. And I
Mm.
think that also we see, at least I saw in my masters, a lot of these people, they talk about things, about certain issues, and a lot of the times they're also trying to be helpful,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're not open to different opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I, from my perspective right now, I think my class people are helpful.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
there is not just like what was going on in school, like just things, rebuilding walls with books so you cannot look on my paper kind
Yeah.
of stuff, or asking for homework and then someone is like, I don't know if I can send you this,
Okay.
or I can't give you my sheets I prepared, or like they were always like, yeah. Well, also in business school where I went before uni,
Mm.
they was also these people just were doing their part, and then if you had some questions, they were like,
Meaning.
sorry, Nini, I think I can't help you because I have no clue. They had clue. They knew what was going
Yeah.
on. So not helpful at all. But right now it feels like if you ask someone, even if the big WhatsApp group, can you send me this? Do you have the solution for this? Or I wasn't at this lecture. Everyone is just there. Yeah, sure, send it, it's fine.
Yeah.
So this is really good. I like this. And I also don't get why you should not share your things. Like, what is the bad thing about, yeah, you had to work with it, but at the end, what counts? That you have a good grade, but yeah, if you can help someone also getting a good grade, then that's nice or no?
Yeah, I think so too. To be honest, I think in my undergraduate, that was still the case when you were saying about people didn't really share their things. In my undergraduate, I did see people like that, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, who were always like, they will, when they need help, they would ask you. that can you send me this lecture notes? I mean, yeah, you'll send it to them. And then later when you had something, they were like, oh, sorry, no, but I don't feel comfortable sharing. And to be honest, I think it was more, you're right, I think it was more the minority that did this. Most people are helpful, I would say, by and large. Even my masters, I would say, by and large, most people were helpful because if you asked for something, usually people reached out and helped. But there was always like these moments where you just met someone who was just like, no, sorry, I can't share that with you. I remember this one guy even in my masters. He like we were both in. I think I was in my second semester and he was in this first semester, and we were taking this computer engineering course, and there was also these lab exercises. So we used to go to them together. So he was in that class, and essentially you had to write some code and then present it. And a few classes he didn't show up, so he reached out, was like, can you tell me the know what you wrote, how you wrote it, and I did. And then I mean, like a few months later, right? I think he took the final examination. I didn't take the final examination. I was supposed to take the final examination the next semester, right? I dropped the course. And then I just talked to him. I was like, oh, can you just tell me what the more important topics are for the final and what I should focus on? He was like, no, I don't feel comfortable sharing. It's like, what?
What a move.
Like, just
Why?
why? Like, it doesn't even matter for you. Like, the thing that you were saying that you should help, I think a lot of people twist that and say, if I help this person, then the grade average also goes up. But I think that's a really bad way to think,
That's
to be
really
honest.
sad also.
Yeah, like, it's just help, right? Like, just it's not the end of the world if you just share your notes a bit, right? Okay, and don't share your note, but even if someone's asking for basic information, just give it to them. And also don't be that bad of a person, right? Like if you're not willing to help, then don't also ask for help
Yeah.
from other people,
Yeah.
right? But but I think yeah, it's easy to focus on the negative, right? Because it's so like you think about it that much, but I think by and large people are
Yeah.
helpful.
Definitely, especially right now, I can see it in school it was different, I think. I mean, yeah, if your friends, your close friends, they will help you if they're like
Yeah,
loyal,
yeah,
like they don't care, they help whatever you
yeah,
need, they do, and that's great. But sometimes these other people, I don't know, it's like, oh, if it's a competition also, that you're
yeah,
like, "Oh, if I share something with you, then you might be better." I had this girl in my school,
yeah.
which was my big boy, like competitive.
Okay,
And yeah, she was, let's say, in the cool group. Yeah, she was the girl who was also cool with the boys.
nice.
Yeah, they were really cool. And
What a woman.
and I was fine with the boys, but I was not hanging around with them. So it was like, yeah, I had my group of friends, but not the boys.
Yeah,
And she was always like, she was the smart girl where you imagine she is super nice, she's the
yeah,
perfect daughter, she's the perfect daughter-in-law, she's the one, yeah,
yeah.
perfect, super nice
Mhm.
um to the teachers, to everyone,
Mhm.
yeah. So and then she was, but she was not, yeah, she was pretending to be something.
But she's not.
Yeah, but she was not nice. She was always like, yeah, she was talking behind the back about
Yeah,
everyone. She was like, yeah, you couldn't trust her at all. She was always telling everyone about everyone. So, and she was someone who thought who's the smartest. Yeah.
yeah.
And then she she
These
was
kind.
also someone you could ask for help. She would not give you the help. And then it was always like, yeah, I was trying to get her grades because she got really good grades. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I think till class 7, I was so like, yeah, Dre. I always had Dre's.
Mm.
So in Germany is from 1 to 6.
Okay.
So 1 is the best, and 6 is the worst,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 so it's medium,
Yeah.
right? So it's okay. But I always wanted to get better. And then I think at class 8, I just switched completely and started to just have ones and twos
Oh, what a moment.
all the time. And then she was even more like, how did you do that? And she wanted to get help from me also,
Yeah.
like asking, got you more, like showed more interest in me, which was
Yeah.
like, I know you don't like me. I
Yeah.
also don't like you because
Yeah. Because
you
of
don't
obvious reasons.
interact. And then just to wrap this up at the end, the German final exam, yeah, I really liked German.
Yeah.
And but I was not like the grammar god. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fine. And then we had this German final exam, and I was so excited. I was so happy to write. I had like I think we needed to write like there were two different topics we could choose to write an article or story or
Okay.
something, and I needed to include some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I wrote about my favorite show, like two of my favorite shows, which is first of all Psych. I don't know if anyone knows it. If not, you need to watch it. The best detective show ever. It's so funny. So funny. I love it.
Okay.
I think you saw some
Yeah.
episodes.
It's also very nice.
To see more. It's just so funny. And I wrote about Monk.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know if you know that.
No.
It's similar. It's also a detective.
Okay.
And he's a very uh like, what is it when you want to do everything perfect?
Perfectionist.
Perfectionist. Exactly. So yeah, I wrote a story about them. Anyways, doesn't matter. But I had a good feeling, and then when we went back to school, then they told us all the grades. My
Yeah.
teacher just said to everyone their grade in the room. Yeah. So and then they started with her. She got a three. Yeah.
Mm.
She was immediately like her whole world was destroyed.
Okay.
And I was sitting there waiting, and I got a 1. And
Mm.
she looked at me.
Yeah.
She, that was so funny. Then the teacher just said at the end, if someone wants to see the exam, you can come with me and then we look at it, maybe for anything, if
Yeah.
anything went wrong or whatever. And she immediately ran to the teacher, and I also went there because I wanted to see if I really ever won. And then she was like, I need to see if what you did wrong. Like, and
Oh,
then,
really?
huh?
She wanted to see what you did wrong.
No, like what the teacher did
Okay.
wrong, because it can't be possible. She
Yeah.
has a 3 and I have a
Okay.
1.
Okay.
And then we both went to the room. She was already like asking me how weird it is that she knows has a 1 that needs to be like something needs to be wrong. And then we went to the room. We both looked at it. I was so happy, said
Yeah.
thank you to my teacher because it was so nice. And she just said nothing, just left the room.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. These kinds of people are always like, when so if you're a mean person, right, like you're not sharing. I just don't like when they're also when they need help, it always switches to this completely interested person who's like, oh, we've been friends for so long. It's like, no, we haven't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. I don't think that stopped in high school. Sometimes it happens that, you know, for whatever reason, you're in a position to help people. Yeah. First of all, I think you should definitely help people. But at the same time, there's also this kind of person who, first of all, never interacts with you when they don't need your help, right? Will never also treat you nicely.
Mhm.
But as soon as they need even a small thing from you, they'll be like, "Oh, hi, Saad,
You're the best.
not exactly." And it's like just pretending like we've been friends for
Yeah.
10 years. It's like we haven't talked in 2 years, right? And it's fine. Like if someone wants something, I think, we're social animals. I also need so many things from different people. I just personally think, I don't know what your opinion is on this. If you're reaching out to someone, right, for help, just get to the point. Don't like make this into a story of this, like this corporate way of doing it to be like, oh, first I need to slide in with like a very nice message about how we're such great friends. It's like, it's I think the other person is also not stupid. You know?
Yeah, but I think that's a thing to do that,
Yeah, it's
to be a bit of like,
where, yeah,
yeah,
we
and then
do
you're
you
like, okay,
remember, oh, how have you been? Oh, you don't talk to me. It's like, dude, if you're that concerned, you could also, I mean, I'm always up for being like, yeah, personally, I think you should reach out to people. But then when someone says something like this, it's like always like, yeah, well, you could also do it, right?
yeah,
And now if you need something, it's suddenly like, oh, it's the best thing in the world to talk to you. It's like happy to help, but just maybe just ask for it. Right? Like don't basically beat around the bush.
true.
My yeah, I think that's my one advice.
I think the advice on this episode is then you should help. Be a helpful person.
Yeah, I think yeah, you should definitely help because even if you're doing it for selfish reasons, you are going to need people at some point. And if people know you as someone who's always a bit like not willing to help or just this kind of person like the one that you're describing also, I think it's completely fair that people also don't help you, right?
Yeah,
So then if you're, I'm just saying like even if you do it not out of the goodness of your heart, but rather if you think like this that oh I will need something from some people in return at some point, you should help.
but I think you should also do it just because you want to do
100%.
something good.
Yeah.
I think that's still very important and very rare and not,
Yeah.
yeah, especially these days. I think it's tough. That's why I think someone who needs help, you should for sure try to help if you can.
Yeah, and I think it's a great feeling also.
Yeah,
Just if you're in a position and you especially help them for free, right? Like if you even if you're able to give some advice, I think it's a wonderful feeling.
yeah, you never know how this can change someone's life.
Exactly.
And even if it's just sending them the notes or the summary you did.
Yeah,
So this is fine.
yeah,
Why
definitely.
not sharing? Because maybe then this person also gets a good grade
Yeah,
or is
that's a
just
point.
happy.
Exactly. And I think like when you are out of that system, right? Like now I'm not in university anymore. Sometimes I think about a lot of the things that seem so stupid, like these things. And probably right now I'm doing a lot of those things which would seem stupid in like 5 years. But the point is, if you're someone who's listening and close to uni or in uni, just help people. To be honest, just actually try to make an active effort to be a good person. I think it really helps.
Yeah,
Not just other people, it also helps you because you're not fighting these battles in your head all the time,
yeah,
right? Like, should
100%.
I help? Should I not help? Should I? What's the score on our help sheet? It's like just that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's really important to
Yeah.
know that.
D'accord.
I think I would encourage people to help more.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I'm actually reading a really interesting book called Predictably Irrational, and this also talks about these things that when we're also social animals, right? Like we have relationships and everything, but at the same time, we also exist in a very market world, which includes money, right? And whenever you include his argument, the uh, writer's argument is that when you include transactions in like social norms, like for instance, if you're dating someone and then on the first date you start bringing up, oh, this cost me this much, it's obviously going to ruin things.
Mm.
Similarly, if um, you're a neighbor and you help someone out for free, that's a nice thing. But if you say, "Oh, I'll give you $3 for it," you're not thinking, "Oh, I can help and I get $3." You're all actually thinking this is work, and then, you know, I'll get only $3 from it. So the point that the author is trying to make, which I'm butchering, is that social norms are really important. Right? You
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't try to like always have this exchange mindset of yeah now I helped you, then you should also. It's like, yeah, it's also good for you in the long run if you're willing to help people.
Definitely. Yeah.
Take a shock. That was my TED talk on help.
I think that's perfect last advice that everyone should be helpful and read the book.
Yeah, definitely. You should read more. I should read more.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm lazy with the reading. Reading my Gazette's book. Pony. That's enough.
It's not wasted. But yeah, I think this was also a super nice episode. Super nice talk around high school and
Yeah.
helping people.
Well, what a time.
Actually. But yeah, so let's wrap this up then. We'll see you in the next one. And Miss Selena, where can people find you on TikTok and other social media? Okay, great try.
I didn't prepare for this again,
Okay,
but there is Chai Chat on Spotify and
and
YouTube,
YouTube.
which is called Chai Chat.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think that's enough. There is an Instagram channel, but it's not so active.
yeah, but
I
we'll
should
link the TikTok one at least
definitely.
to this. All right, then we'll see you guys in the next one.
And ciao, ciao. Be
Ciao.
helpful.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.